Going live once again with a conversion killer audit. Yay. I'm just checking we're live. That's always a start. Checking we're live. Yes. On X, we're here, which means we're on LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you're watching live, let me know. I'm going to be honest. This conversion killer that that I'm doing today really didn't have a page. Well, it does have a page. I'm not going to say it doesn't. It does have a page to audit. It's one of the Buildathon product Buildathon. I can speak. The Replit Buildathon contestants that when we did the 24-hour Buildathon, they built this product, and it is epic. I love it. And I actually gave it my prize. I gave it $5,000 of my Replicash because I was going to say I would invest in this, and hilariously, it's about investing. So we're going to jump straight in to what we have first to look at, and then let's start there. So the product itself is called. Let me bring up the landing page because it goes straight into a dashboard. It's an open dashboard at the moment because they're building and people can look at it and have a play around. They haven't put pricing in or anything like that. So this landing page that I'm building out for them is basically the infrastructure to open the door for people to come in and have a try of their product and purchase and go onto their monthly plans and all the things that they've got coming. So this product's called Lawrence. Lawrence has his product. It's called Quantara Invest. I'll get the name right. And it's basically an investing simulation lab. And you'll see here that it has, let me jump into the other window so I can have a bit of a play with you. Play with it. Okay, so welcome to, they've got the usual welcome tos. Look, it's, as you can see, it's got the dashboard down the side. So it's not, it's a guest. You can sign in, that kind of thing. There is no pay structure yet, but it does have a little bit of, this is what we do. And it's an investing simulation lab. That's very clear. Quantara Invest is a simulation lab for testing investing strategies with virtual cash. So it's telling us what it is straight up. No real trades, no real risk, exploring freely and build intuition before putting anything on the line. There's a sample you can walk through, and then it scrolls down and it talks about how it works and picking a ticker, or you choosing your AI strategy, you run it with virtual cash. So, it's got the information up front, get a plan, English, get a plain English explanation of every move. It samples your strategies. You can run this strategy in the arena. It does have a little walkthrough where you can watch the walkthrough. It's very open at this stage, so it doesn't have a paywall. So you want to go ahead and play with it, feel free. I'm sure Lawrence would love the feedback. What you can do here, obviously arena, market moves, builder, portfolio, and then it shows you what happens in the arena. And just so you know, there's two things that happen with this product. So I am a small investor. I'm not a huge investor yet. But also it's probably because, and the reason I was drawn to this product, which is, I think is quite interesting, is, I've been in corporate business. I understand some of it, but I don't understand trading because I know little bits. I've got some crypto, I've got some, little things, but not on a larger scale. And so for me to go, I'm going to invest, I'm probably more likely to go and buy, like one of those managed funds where I get to select what kind of fund it is, and then they do the buying, and then I just get the dividends and the returns, hoping that it's successful. but there's something in me being a systems thinker and being a strategy mindset. I was like really drawn to this product. I was like, oh, this is an investing simulation lab. So my first question, like I landed here and thought, oh, this is for me. Like I really thought this is for me. But when I went and read about the product, and hang on one second, I just want to switch over to a different page at this point. Bear with me. Oh, yeah, I'm still there. Let me share this. One second. I want to shift into here. Little technical things. Okay, we're going to go into this window. So I've got a few more things in the browser, then I don't have to keep swapping it out for you. Oh, there's two of me. How does that happen? How did that happen? There's two of me. Can I get rid of that? Hide that. I don't know how there's two of me, but there is. There's two of me. There we go. So I'm going to just do that. Okay, so we're looking at this, and this is what happens in the landing page. And then oh, no, I don't mean that. We'll get there eventually. Am I in the right one? No, of course I'm not. So what happens when oh, okay, it's telling me off because I want a multi-share replace. There we go. That's what I want. I want this one. There we go. There we go. Okay, so when you click into this section, it's got about section, and it's what is it, why it was built, the vision, how it works, because this was built for judges, a lot of this stuff, but this is still really important. And so when I looked at it, I was like, okay, so they've got a vision that we want a world where every retail investor has access to the same kind of strategy testing that institutions have had for decades. I know Lawrence, this came from his relationship with his grandfather. And so the long-term vision is a clean separation between the simulation mode and obviously the future live mode that could plug into real brokerages. So there's a plan that this would then be a strategy marketplace and have a developer API attached where builders can then publish through this site. However, the product, when I was looking at it, I was like, well, I would use this. Like when you go into the dashboard and you have a play, and I was like, I would use this product. Like I would play in this so I could learn and to become more intuitive and to understand. And obviously, there's probably a lot in this that is from a beginner to where you're headed in it as an investor would be very different. But I still understand a lot of this stuff. Like I've a lot of these terms from my career, from being in corporate environments, from just general watching the news and what's happening with pricing and things like that. So there's I would say I'm going to call them high level beginner, as well as the audience that is already trading and doing things. So when I was looking at building this landing page, the first thing I looked at was like, well, I see the audience, but why was I attracted to this product? Like, what did I see in it? And where could the landing page cover both of these things? Because it's still an emotional use, right? Like, even the person who is established, the whole point of the product is to not spend money until you're intuitively spending that money in a better way. And so you could easily answer that question across the board and target a few different audiences by addressing that issue of where they're at. So when I went into Replit to build, before I did that, I went into chat GPT, and because I often do this, I triangulate in different AIs and different chats, and obviously even different discussions with people. And I looked at it and said, I dropped it into chat first and said, who would you target, like, from this? And I just dropped the landing page, the first screen, and then I dropped in the information about, the link and what it is. And, came back with the primary audiences. And I said, can I ask a question? What about someone like me? Because my chat knows me. And it went, oh yeah, we can see how you'd be an audience, because of the way you're a system thinker. You want to have a system in place to be able to do this. And I went, that's correct. And so we came up with the audience of the high quality beginner. And, not so much beginning, knows nothing, but has some awareness, but also systemically thinking. And a lot of women do think like this, and also we're never taught the skills, and we weren't through our lives to go and do this. And a lot of people weren't, obviously, but the trading game has traditionally been a man's game. So, I thought, oh, well, let's have a look and see what we can come up with that actually crosses both bridges and see where we could end up. So this, is the live dashboard that we're looking at here now. But after my conversations, I went into a lovely Replit. Let me just, because we don't want to show everything first. Sure. So I had a discussion. I dropped a lot of information up front here, because I was explaining Replit what this is, that there is a landing page. Before I did that, I put this through Conversion Killer. You'll see here in Conversion Killer, not a happy camper. Conversion Killer is, if you want to use that for your own landing page, is conversionkiller.app. And you can run your landing page and it will tell you what is wrong with it. And it's not like it's missing this. It's about value proposition. It's about psychology. It's about who you're targeting. And I put in a few target audiences with this. So interestingly, it came up with this, but I dropped this in as well. So I took this and I dropped it into Agent. And then obviously the page fails to communicate what problem it solves, why the audience should trust it, and how it helps the customer take their first step. Because, no harm or foul to Lawrence. He has, he's initially just built this product, so he's building it out. But I thought him and I had a discussion, and I said, do you want me to roast it? And he said, that'd be great. So he was at the top of the roasting queue. Here it is here, where we're roasting. If you want to join the queue, you can jump in, just reply on X or LinkedIn, drop your URL and ask to join the queue. Requelme, sorry, I want to pronounce it right. She's the latest one who's just dropped in. She's number 10. And yesterday we roasted beginthings.com. So you can find that on any of my profiles to watch, or jump in on the Conversion Killer app to see it live. There it is there, the replay. And then we've always got the live now. So this one will go up to, the page lacks a heading entirely. It's good. Look, a lot of the things I said, there's no trust, CTAs aren't visible, but that's understandable. And yet we still want to build it out. So there's clarity. We obviously want social proof. And then you can, once you do this, you can email that to yourself, this results, and you can actually purchase the next steps. So the rebuild direction, if you're just in the app and not having me look at it, you can just purchase that for $39, and we will give you 3, headlines, CTAs, page structures, angle offers, and action items to go and fix your page, basically. That's what Conversion Killer is about. Plus this, I love doing the lives and I love doing the audits, and you can get the results. So now that we know 25 out of 100, great. We went into Replit and we built this on Canvas. This is not built, this is only on Canvas. So when you go into Replit, you can actually access what we call the canvas, and you can build things out on this before you actually put anything into play, which is so good. Or if you want to update something but don't fully want it to be updated on your app or your website or whatever, you can do it in Canvas, and it builds artifacts. And you could even have multiple landing pages and things like that, which I love. So we talked about, Agent and I had a little discussion about it, and I talked about where this app really is at, about, it doesn't actually have the sales infrastructure set up or anything yet, but it will. And this is kind of what it would look like. And so we addressed the pain point straight up. We said, build the intuition before you risk the capital. That is literally what you're doing here with this app. So this is you can still go into the launch simulator. You can still, rather than landing on the simulator, this page actually allows people to kind of a space rather than just having all that information up front. This obviously gives them a gate to get in there, but it's also filled with all the information. So Quantara Invest is an AI-powered simulation lab, test strategies, read signals, and build rules with 100K in virtual cash. No brokerage fees, obviously, no real trades and no advice. You just get to play and learn to trust your intuition. What I love about this, you can have 5 different versions going at the same time, and then you can compare them. Very cool. So you can start a simulation, you can take the tour, you can read the roadmap of the product. We've got we're repeating the things that are really important, right? The things that people would want, that they're like, if I land on this, I'm like, oh, what is this investment thing? Oh, I get to build the intuition before I actually risk capital. Oh, this is interesting. What is it? I'm going to read, oh, I get to actually play in a simulation before I actually go and spend money, so I can see and build skills and learn to understand. I could go to a course. I don't really have time to sit and listen, but I'm happy to sit and play. My brain would love to do this. I really like it. I'm the secondary audience. The people who are going to use this anyway, whether you're an experienced trader or you're learning or you're in brokerage or you're going to put this into your products, you wouldn't put the landing page in. You would build a different landing page for those, for the later down the line production side. For developers, you'd have a different section for that. But we do talk about it down the bottom, saying it's coming. But this audience, the reason you're using this product is to build the intuition before you risk the capital. That was the one primary thing across the board that we said every single person wants this, who wants this product. And so we teach the reasoning. We're not gambling. And I love that. It's every signal and strategy in Quantara Invest is backed by clear logic. We force the AI to explain its maths. And most importantly, we state what would prove it wrong, which is so cool. So, they've got the momentum reversion, and then it explains why this matters and what it is. And you get to diverge from its 50 days moving average and play in the different strategies, why it matters. It provides a structure entry point with defined risk boundaries. So it gives you something to work off originally. And it's a high confidence version that you can play with from there. We're inside the simulation lab. This is what you now get, which is the 5 distinct tools, which is the arena, the pulse market moves, the mirror, the builder, and the portfolio. The builder, where you can put your own rules in and play with the live data. What I love is this is actually live. This is what's happening in the market too. And it's built for those. And then the simulations obviously are not, but the market, how it is at that time, is what's coming in. And so we've built this for those who want to understand, who don't need to be a Wall Street quant to use this, but they need to care about the why behind the trade. So the careful beginner or the serious builder. And so they don't, I don't trade, but I refuse to learn through loss. That would be me. And then I treat markets like a system, and I need to back test my thesis, which is the serious user. And so, we're catering for both in this, because you want to build intuition without risking real capital. You refuse to copy influencers and gamble on hype, and you need a safe sandbox to actually use it. And then you've got the other person who is, You want to rapidly prototype rules before going live. So this is for the serious builder, who is really what this was built for. But I think there's two audiences there that could use this product quite well. And I think Lawrence could, this is a whole business. Obviously, it's a whole business model, but there's many places that you could go with this product. That's just my business brain thinking. And you need to compare your ideas against established quant models and things like that. So no account, no money, nothing to lose. It's virtual cash, but it's serious game. And I really like that line. I actually think I would say that. I'll tell agent, I would say, it's nothing to invest, nothing to lose, but it's real game. I really like that. So, it's like learning the game. And where this is going, we are building the infrastructure for a new kind of retail investing. And then it just lists the phases that Lawrence had before about where it is in the market. And then at the moment, there's no cost to this. So you could just land in this simulation or take a tour and have a play once he gets behind phase 2 and phase 3, and he's putting a monetary value behind this, and there's a monthly fee. Obviously, these would change to pricing structures, but I really love it. And I think, look, this is still a tech product, but it's really clean. It doesn't need, like, if you watch the previous roast that I did, I talk about lifestyle because it was targeting Airbnb hosts. This is still a lifestyle, like it's still emotionally attached, like there's still an emotional reality and psychology that's attached to this, but it's about what's the end result, and it still stays in the SaaS kind of software realm. It doesn't have to have, all these other things in the spotlight to actually sell it, because it's basically there. But the point being is it's going to train you and your intuition, which is the point. And I love that. So that's where we ended up. It was pretty cool. And I really hope Lawrence likes it. Lawrence, I will drop a link for you, excuse me, if you want to purchase any of this. It's $99 if I do a roast on you and you want my all my notes that I've given to agent, and I will GitHub you the actual layout here so you can drop it into your project and start using it. There's a link that I will share with you for that. Anyone else, if you want to jump on Conversion Killer, the queue, we have that going on here. And that's the $99 link. But we also just have, this is what you get in a $39. With the $39, you get headlines, call to actions, above the fold information, recommendations, offers, design, context, and then builder prompts to put in. That's if you just want to rebuild yourself and take some of the direction that we give through our builder. And then obviously you can, that's my back end. You can jump into, let me just get out of here, go to our landing page. You can put in your URL. My recommendation, if you're using this, I just used it for soloboardroom.com. And I started off at 48 2 days ago, and I'm now at 96 by implementing changes. If you want to come back and test again, which you will, make sure you give an hour, like kind of leeway, because obviously the systems need to talk and all your indexing and all that kind of stuff needs to update. And it will tell you your improvements because we capture that for you. And then you can come back and check again of where you're at. We're still, we're still tweaking the prompts in the background, and anything that I pick up, we add back in. But you can, this is Sean. He was our first, Levelize was our first roast that we did, and he implemented his changes and got sales straight away, which was fantastic. This is his post about it. You can watch his stream here. Obviously, this is the begin again roast. And then if you want to apply for me to roast you, you can link from this page or link on the bottom of this video and tag your URL, and I will put you in the queue. If you want to jump the queue to the front, you can pay to jump the queue, which is $2.99, and you get everything. So you get a roast. You can do it private if you want, but I recommend, obviously, if you want people to see your product, I'm talking about it, then you go on socials, you can jump the queue and be the first in the queue, and I send you everything that I do. You get everything, and which is fab. So if you want in on that, I'm Erin Town. I'm from soloboardroom.com, which is a boardroom that I built for people who understand boardrooms and are missing them as solo founders. And the product is incredible. We're finishing off our founders offer on Sunday. So if you are watching this replay and you are part of the Solo Boardroom crew, you might want to consider jumping in on the founding offer because it finishes on Sunday. And we will go from there. Thank you so much. Let me just end. Oh, no, we're starting another one. Oh, telling me off because I'm trying to do too many things. And Lawrence, I really hope you like this landing page and where I went with this product. And I will see you all at the next roast. I'll tell you, I've given myself a bit of a challenge. I'm going to try and do one a day for 5 days, not 7 days, because I still have a weekend and I am a solo parent. So yeah, getting in and doing those. But I'm going to try and do them at the same time. So going live, I'll be on X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And then you can always come back and watch the replays. And we'll see you when we are looking at you again on the internet. Have a great day.